What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and this time we're going to focus on affordable CGC 9.8 graded Star Wars books, budget friendly. And if you follow the Star Wars comic book market or the comic book market generally, you know that the market in general is way down, and that presents a couple of things. Number one, you don't want to overpay for a book, and two, it's a buying opportunity if you are in a good financial position. And given the kind of uncertain economic times that we're dealing with right now, maybe buying a Clone Wars #1 in a CGC 9.8 is not the best idea. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm just not willing to spend big money on any collectible, much less printed paper. But I did want to put together some good ideas. And a couple of caveats before I dig right in. Number one, most of these are modern. And with modern comic books, it's always a little bit more risky of a proposition if you're looking at it from a buy and hold and hoping it goes up in value perspective. If you're just a Star Wars fan and you want to collect some really cool comics that are graded 9.8 or less, depending on your budget, then these are just kind of buy and hold forever in your collection type of items too. But just keep in mind that with modern comic books, especially, I'm trying to keep the price $100 or under, or as close to that as I can for all of these suggestions. Just keep in mind it's a little bit more risky, it's more speculative, and they may not blow up in value at all. But I did find some really good ideas, and with the comic book market as down as it is right now, hopefully it's a good buying opportunity for those of you who are like me that just want to add some awesome Star Wars comics to your collection. So, without further ado, let's dig right in. The first one is the High Republic #1, and I tried not to make this list of items all High Republic books because, of course, the High Republic is the main focus for Marvel Comics right now. There are certainly other lines, but in terms of key issues that are still affordable, High Republic certainly is that line. And you got the High Republic and the High Republic Adventures, two really good comic lines right now within the Star Wars universe. And if you're going to get one of them to get is High Republic #1. My favorite cover in terms of affordability and for what you get with the cover is the Stephanie Hans variant cover. And it's the first appearance of a number of different characters. Keith Trennis, Skier, Loden Greatstorm, Stellan Gios, Vernestra Rowe, and I believe it's also the first full comic book appearance of Avar Kriss, who is on the cover with Yoda. So it's a great book. Her first cameo appearance was in The Rise of Kylo Ren #3, I believe. So, but this is kind of her first real introduction within the High Republic universe. This one was listed for $94.90 plus $11.75 shipping, and it was best offer accepted. I've seen a number of these sell for anywhere from $70 to about $100. And to me, this is, if you're going to get something within the High Republic universe, #1 is probably the first book I'd take a look at. We've already talked about a number of the Sprouse variants, which are the 50th anniversary cover variants. And the covers for these Sprouse variants do not relate at all to the interior contents of the book. This is Darth Vader #20, and this is the first true comic book cover appearance of the Mandalorian and Grogu. And this is the first print, which has a gold border, and the prices jumped up to about $150. Well, guess what? They're creeping back down again. All the new comic book day people have gotten their copies, and now it's just a matter of, selling out of some of these other 9.8s that are rolling back from CGC. And that initial high demand is starting to wear off now, and the price is coming down. And this one sold for $89 plus $17 shipping. So, let's call that a little bit over $100. And to me, this is one that may not ever go up in value, but it's going to go down as the Mandalorian and Grogu's first comic book cover appearance. And to me, as a Star Wars fan, and with the mainstream success of The Mandalorian, I want to have one of these in my collection, no matter what the price does in the future. So I do have one of these, and if you can pick it up in an auction for around this price, that's a pretty good deal. Now, let's say you don't want to spend that much money. Why don't you look at the second print? And here's the second print that has a silver edge, silver background. It's kind of like it's supposed to be the Beskar armor version. And so this is the second printing as it's labeled on the CGC label there. And this one sold at auction a couple of days ago for $52 plus $14.99 shipping. So you can cut your price down by about 40% by getting the second printing, and it's still a nice one to have. I don't have the second printing personally, but To me, if you are really tight on your budget and you don't want to spend let's call it $110, well, look at this one for $50 to $60, and it still gives you that item in your collection where you can say, hey, I've got the first comic book cover appearance for The Mandalorian. If you want to look at some others that are similar to that, another good one is Dr. Aphra number 19. This one just came out, and this is, again, the Sprouse variant cover, and this is going to go down as the first comic book cover appearance of Bo-Katan. And I think that, in general, this is another kind of comic to have and hold forever, and I've got a number of these that I'm getting pressed right now, and I just think it's a great cover as well. I mean, it's just a fantastic cover. And as I said, it may not go up in value, but if you're into collecting comic book history, then 10 years from now, this will still be her first comic book cover appearance. And this one sold for $66 plus $15 shipping, so you really can't beat the prices. It's a pretty low risk proposition to have that. Now, let's say you even have a lower budget than what this one sold for. Her first mention within Marvel continuity, Bo-Katan, is Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 14. This is from September of 2021, and this is a book we've covered in the past. This is also the first full comic book appearance of the bounty hunter Deathstick, who is in that purple ninja outfit there battling Violet Valance. So it's a good book to have because it's got a first true comic book appearance, and it also has the first mention of Bo-Katan within Marvel continuity for Star Wars. This one sold for $28.70 plus $15.71 shipping. That is rock bottom pricing. You really can't even get it graded for that after shipping and pressing and grading costs and everything else. To me, that is a steal of a deal, whoever got that one. So if you can find an auction like this, I mean, this is another good book that I don't have in my collection, but it's a fantastic cover. It's a first full appearance of a bounty hunter. And by the way, Deathstick, the bounty hunter, she has a big role within the Crimson Reign comic book series that's out right now. So clearly, Marvel and Star Wars folks, the people in charge, they clearly have plans for Deathstick beyond just this the War of the Bounty Hunters issue. So I would really take a look at that. And if you can get it for anywhere close to this price, that is a fantastic deal. Next up is another one I have in my collection, High Republic number 12. This is the first cameo appearance of a leveler. And what is a leveler? That is kind of a force-sensitive monster or alien that sucks the life out of the Jedi. And it has a really, really important role within the High Republic novels that I've been reading. So I expect the leveler to be one of those kind of monsters that will have a big role whenever the High Republic universe hits Disney Plus content. So I won't belabor the point because I've talked about it in the past. But this is the first cameo of the leveler. And by the way, it's a fantastic cover with Lorna D holding a lightsaber. Lorna D is also a very major character. So I pre-ordered this one in a 9.8 for $60, and I'm glad I did. This one sold for $62 plus $16 shipping, so it hasn't really moved up in price at all. And I think that's another good one to just have and hold forever. But I do expect anything related to the leveler to eventually, skyrocket in price once the High Republic universe kind of makes its debut in live action content on Disney Plus. Now, the first full appearance of a leveler is tied for 2 different books, and this is the first one. We'll show the second one here in a little while, but this is High Republic number 15, the last issue in the first volume for Star Wars The High Republic, and this is an homage cover to issue number 1 for one of the cover A's. So it's a really cool cover, and this is the first full appearance of the leveler, and this one sold for $100 plus $16 shipping. I think at an auction you can get it for even less. This is a very recent release. This just came out in May of 2022. Give it a couple of months, and I bet you'll see this book sit for $70 to $80 max. So I would pick this one up because it's a great cover, and I've already got this one in the cover A for issue number 1, so I would like to get this one to match it since this is an homage to that book. And then if you don't want to spend that much money on the cover A first printing, the second printing, which I actually like the cover better for the second printing, this is High Republic number 15 that came out this month, June of 2022. And this is an awesome second printing cover with Avar Kriss on the cover and a number of other key heroes, Stellan Gios. It looks like it's got Elzar Mann and Indira Stokes. It's got Baraga. A number of really important heroes within the High Republic universe, and it's just an awesome cover. This one sold for $36. $36 at an auction plus shipping. That's a steal of a deal, and I think it's a much better cover personally than the first printing cover A. So Just a couple of ideas depending on your budget. And then, so as I mentioned, High Republic number 15 is tied with another book, and that's this one, for the first appearance of a leveler. These two books came out at the exact same time. This is High Republic Eye of the Storm number 2. This one sold for $85, and again, this is such a new book that if you just give it a little time, I bet it'll kind of come down even further than that. It's a great cover with Marchion Ro, and it looks like he's got a chain that's kind of going off screen. I'm assuming that that chain is attached to the leveler. And it's just an awesome pensive kind of, look to Marchion Ro. And this one again came out in May of 2022, so it's very, very recent, but a fantastic cover, and has been mentioned on several, quote unquote expert YouTube comic pickers that this book is one to get. So I don't have this one personally. I do want to get it, but again, it's tied with High Republic 15 for the first full appearance of a leveler. Remember when I said wait to buy any Black Krrsantan first appearance books, which is Darth Vader number 1 from 2015? Remember when Black Krrsantan made his appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, and those books were selling for $450? Well, now the Book of Boba Fett has come and gone, and look at what the prices have done. $112.50 for this same book. This is actually less than where this book was selling prior to the Book of Boba Fett. So that tells you, number one, how well the Book of Boba Fett was received by the comic book community. But number two, Krrsantan's really not that important of a character. He's a side character. He growls and he rips arms off. Congratulations. That does not make for a key character. But it's an awesome cover, and it has Vader kind of emerging from his, kind of headquarters thing that he likes to sit in, like in The Empire Strikes Back. And it's now labeled by CGC. They just updated the label to say first appearance of Black Krrsantan. So if you want this book, I don't personally care about getting it, but if you want this book, now's a good time to get it, because number one, all comic books are down, and number two, the Book of Boba Fett has come and gone and nobody cares anymore about it. So if you want this book, now's the time to get it. It was going for $200 prior to the Book of Boba Fett. During the Book of Boba Fett, it hit $400 to $450. Now it's $112.50 plus shipping in an auction. So I'm not trying to say it's not an awesome book. It's a really great cover, but there's like 5 different printings, all the same with just slightly different colors. Get the first printing and get it for cheap, like this one just sold for. A little bit older book that is a good idea. This is Heir to the Empire number 2. And again, I talk about getting the second appearance of a key character when it doesn't make sense financially to get the first appearance. Obviously, Heir to the Empire number 1 is the first appearance of Mara Jade and Grand Admiral Thrawn and what's his name? Joruus C'baoth, the Mad Jedi. Well, Heir to the Empire number 2 is the second appearance of Thrawn and Mara Jade, and this one sold for $100. The issue number 1 goes for $1,500 to $1,600 now. Well, why not get Heir to the Empire number 2 with a great cover with Leia and Han and the Millennium Falcon on there? This book is from 1995, and it's the second appearance of the key characters. And if the rumors are true and we actually see Thrawn in some live action content, if they ever do the Heir to the Empire in live action, wow, this book is going to be worth a lot more money than $100 plus shipping. So just an older book that is still budget friendly. Going back to the High Republic, another book that I've beaten like a dead horse is High Republic Adventures number 2. This is the first full appearance of Marchion Ro. This was going for $200 to $225. This one sold for $75. So everything is down right now. Nobody cares about some of these Star Wars High Republic books. And if you care about the High Republic, or if you like the High Republic like I do, this is a book to get. And do what I say, not what I do, because I still haven't gotten this book yet. I've got High Republic Adventures number 1, which is Marchion Ro's first cameo appearance, but I don't have his first full appearance yet. And this is a book I definitely want to get. Next up is Eye of the Storm number 1. Another idea, if you like Marchion Ro like I do, I've got a number of these right now at the presser, and this is the origin story for Marchion Ro. This one sold for $90. Don't pay that much. I'm telling you right now, give it a month or two, and this book will be probably $60 to $70. But a great cover, probably my favorite of all the different cover variants, and he just looks so kind of menacing and, looking to the sky. It's just an awesome cover. And I do think that this book has good potential long-term. Think about Thrawn #1, The Origin of Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's a $175 to $225 book. I'm not saying that this book will ever get that high, but it'll certainly be worth more than the $75 to $90 that this book goes for now, if Marchion Ro has the big appearance on Disney+. Next up is a really good deal. I wish I had seen this one. Darth Vader #25. This is the John Tyler action figure variant for Dr. Aphra. And again, talking about being budget friendly, if you can't afford Dr. Aphra's first full appearance comic, which is Darth Vader #3 from 2015, question mark. I don't remember the exact year, but you know, that book goes for $400, right? $350 to $400. This is another alternative if you want to get some Dr. Aphra comics for cheap. This one sold for $84.99 plus shipping. I've seen this one sell very recently for as high as $250. And this one was at auction, 13 bids. Steal of a deal, and it gives you a good Dr. Aphra comic book that's graded CGC 9.8. Just an awesome John Tyler Christopher action figure variant for very inexpensive. Finally, I know you guys maybe don't like the new trilogy, but The Force Awakens adaptation #1, this is a great cover by Neil Adams, who recently passed away, unfortunately. And look at this amazing cover with Kylo Ren. I've been trying to get this book, but every single time one comes up for auction, I don't have any money. And this book has come way down. This one got up to like $200, and then it dropped down to $50, and it seems to be settling out around $100 now. This is the first comic book appearance of Kylo Ren and Rey. Maybe their stories are not done, maybe they are, but either way, you get an epic Neil Adams cover. Make sure it's the Adams variant cover. It's just an awesome, awesome cover, and I definitely want to get this one to go with my Solo and Rogue One adaptation issue #1s. And $100 plus $10 shipping is a good deal, I think, for an awesome cover. That's all I really had for this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please leave a like. Please comment below with any other suggestions for good CGC 9.8 graded Star Wars books that you think are worth picking up. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.